Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dan Brzezinski with One Team 360, coming to you live for our very first installment of Build a Better Team with me, your host, Dan Brzezinski. And I hope you find some values and some nuggets of great information here, and you get to take it back and help build your team. A little bit about me, just to get started today. First and foremost, I'm the founder and CEO of Premier Aquatics. Premier Aquatics is a lifeguard staffing agency based in Southern California. Built the company from its inception, an idea, sitting on the couch with my wife and talking about why we should go work for someone else when we can go build something ourselves. All the way through now, we're staffing in 3 different states, roughly 650 employees and growing. And we've experienced a little bit of success with Premier Aquatics, and we continue to grow it. I'm also the founder and CEO of Premier Swim Academy, which is a swim school brand. We teach swim lessons. We employ about 100 hourly employees on that front. And I'm also the founder and CEO of One Team 360. So I'm trying to stay as busy as I can so I don't get into any trouble. But first and foremost, really my passion has been the pursuit of what I would call staffing success. So I can't wait to share what we've learned. Unfortunately for me, a lot of what I learned has come from my failures, and I've plenty of failures. I probably would say that I've learned more from my failures than from my successes, but I tend not to make the same mistake twice. So I'm happy to share a little bit of those nuggets. Today we're going to talk about a couple things, but I like to open up every episode here with a little bit of levity and a little bit of humor, and maybe it's humor, maybe it's tears, whatever you want to call it, but open up with just a fun story. So today I'm going to talk about a funny story from my organization, but I hope you'll reach out and drop some comments in and tell us a funny story about something that you've experienced in your workplace. We'd love to hear it. I'd love to be able to share it with any other listeners that happen to join in and listen to us. But for now, I'll tell you a little bit about ours, and it's a sad one because it's the generation that we currently live in. But I'm going to tell you about a lifeguard who I had to terminate. And while the lifeguard was 23 years old, I had to terminate the lifeguard, and I also had to terminate his mother as well. When this 23-year-old lifeguard is being terminated for literally leaving the pool deck in the middle of the shift and leaving an entirely full pool, completely unguarded, as you can imagine, that's a pretty big deal in the industry that we're in. So that wasn't even the end of it. The lifeguard, not only did he leave the pool deck, but he also, when he was on the pool deck, he fell asleep in the stand, fast asleep, lying on his lifeguard buoy, sleeping on the stand. But we didn't tell mom that. We just told mom he walked out on the shift when she came yelling. Generally speaking, we wouldn't have the conversation, but she was being pretty loud about it. So as we teed up our HR department, we were having a conversation with mom for some reason about her 23-year-old son who left the pool deck unattended. She's yelling at us about how we have no proof. We had proof. We didn't coach him. We had coaching through One Team 360. We had all of our documentation in a row. And then we brought up the fact that her son had actually fallen asleep in the middle of the day. And she said that we are completely full of it and there's no way he's fallen asleep. And now we're just making stuff up, and we're fabricating stories, and she's going to come after us. And just then I drop a picture of her son, this lifeguard, fast asleep. We're obviously doing a Zoom in the middle of COVID. I dropped that picture right up, and he's fast asleep, slumped over the side of his buoy. And I make sad that we even have to talk about this, but instead of mom saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry," her response after about 5 seconds of waiting was, "Well, you don't know if he's sleeping or not." I simply scratched my head. I said, "Ma'am, I think that's the end of our conversation," and that's that. So it just brings up the point that it's really important that we're finding the right people for the job, and it's not, we're coming out of a COVID time where it was a matter of finding anybody that we could possibly find, and I don't mean anybody, I mean anybody, just anyone that we could get to fill a shift. But we're coming out of that. We're coming into a whole new world. We've seen our applications skyrocketing. So where we had 200 applications last January and February combined, this January, February 2023, we've seen just short of 800 applications come in. So it's starting to come back, and we get to be a little bit pickier about who we're bringing on board. And how we bring them on board and how we find the right people is the key to today's topic. So today's topic really is all about job fit, right? And it's not about job fit for just the employee, but also the employer. And how do we find the right people to come in, represent our organization, and really help us put our best foot forward? It's such an important topic, and it's something so big. These videos will tend to be a little bit shorter, under 15 minutes. But we'll jump right into it, and we'll go for it. So job fit for me, it starts with a conversation with the team that I'm working with, right? So when we talk about looking around the room and identifying who the right person is on your team currently, and having a conversation with everybody in your organization and saying, okay, if we had 100 of this person, okay, is that what we want, or is that not what we want? Or if we phrase it in a different way, who is the person that we need 100 of to be the most successful business there is in the country or in the world or in existence, right? So first and foremost, it's having that conversation. It's designing this perfect person who you think would come in and benefit your organization and make you a better place, make you a better employer, make you just make your life better overall. And I can think of someone on my team right now who I look at her and I think, wow, if I had 100 of her, oh my gosh, there's nothing we couldn't do. So when I'm thinking about job fit, I'm thinking about designing that around this person. So first and foremost, it's a job description that looks and feels like the person you expect it to look and feel like. So if you're looking for sprinkles and rainbow sherbet and you're advertising a job or a job description that's pure vanilla, you're only going to be disappointed that you've got vanilla coming in the door. So some examples of that are not just cookie cutter standard right off Indeed job descriptions. It's getting creative with things. So when you look at our job descriptions, and I'm not saying that ours are the best or that they're perfect, but we worked hard to refine them and make them better. I'm not looking for a lifeguard to sit on the stand. I'm looking for superheroes that want to be the best, want to learn from the best, want to be held to a high standard. That's who I'm looking for. So when people read that job description right away, it's turning people away that might not be that motivated to be that great. Okay, so the job description is such a big piece, and really we can refer back to that job description time and time again to make sure we're getting the right people. And if we have people coming in the door and they're not what we thought, then we take a look at that job description and we've tried to determine, hey, are we looking for the wrong person? Are we speaking to the wrong person? What can we do different here? So it starts really for me with the job description. The second thing that I'm going to talk about, and it's really we're going to go deeper into this in other sessions, but the second thing that we do is we make sure that the interview fits the role. Okay, so long gone are the days where I just have a simple, boring, tell me about you, what do you want to be in 5 years, what does that look like, interview. It's not who we're looking for anymore. Now, certain organizations, you need that. I get it. But there's no reason that you can't think outside the box. So at my swim schools, we have our phone screen. Before we have the next interview, we put them in the water and we have them, their job is going to be working with kids and teaching kids how to swim, relating to parents. Well, we put that candidate in the water with a child in the middle of a busy day when it's nice and noisy, and we have them teach that child anything in the world. It could be how to put goggles on their head. It could be how to put on a swim cap. It could be how to get in and out of the water. And we prepare those candidates beforehand, and we let them know exactly what's going to be expected of them. We even let them vet the topic out with us if they want that, but because we want them to be successful when they come in. And we watch them interact in the pool. And I have to tell you, 50% of the people don't get the job. We can see right away. I haven't invested any time in them. I haven't invested any money in them, right? Except for the interview. And I can already tell you that they have no business being in the water, trying to relate to parents and try to relate to kids and trying to have fun with kids. Right off the bat, I've saved myself the trouble. Now, the old method, before I did that, I would say that same 50% who didn't belong had eaten up now 3 or 4 or 5 days of my training, my trainer's time. We stopped hiring for the position because we thought we had it filled, and then we realized very quickly they're not the right person. So right off the bat, by just changing our job description and changing the interviews to make sure it fits the role that we're trying to fill, we have seen such a huge influx in the right people coming in. Because I have to tell you, the ones who enjoy that, and then the ones that we want in our organization, they leave that interview from In the Water, and you know what they do? They tell their parents and they tell their friends how cool this interview was and how different this interview was. So I just want to challenge you on today's talk. Really think outside the box. Think about what you can do to change the status quo of what you've been doing. If you aren't happy with the product or the people that you've been getting in, there's no reason you can't change the job description to speak to the people you want to speak to. There's no reason you can't change the interview process to weed out the people that you shouldn't be working with. And you do those two things, and right off the bat, I promise you, you're going to see a totally different caliber of people coming in. And let me tell you, word spreads quickly. They're going to talk. And when you get that right person that's come in and had a great interview experience based on a great job description, they're going to find their other really great friends that want to come and work for you as well. So with that, I'm keeping it short. This is our very first one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please drop some comments down below. We'd love to hear your input. We'd love to hear what you think. If you've got any funny experiences that you want to share, or you want to come onto the show and share, please let us know. Next one, a week from today, you'll be getting our next video, and we can't wait to share the next bit of information for you. With that, we're going to sign off. Thank you so much, and happy day.